Welcome to Learn Commerce PU online classes. Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.
Hello students, welcome to the English online classes. Dear students, let us revise the first lesson, first poem of the textbook, that is Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. So Romeo and Juliet, as you know, it's a romantic tragedy and it is written by William Shakespeare, the greatest one of the greatest writers in English literature. So this is the story of two young lovers. As you know, here the two families belong, two young lovers, they belong to the two different families, and those two different families are the rival families, and they are named as the Capulets and Montagues, right? So Romeo they both belong to the rival families. Here Romeo belongs to the family of Montague and Juliet belongs to the family of Capulet. And here Romeo and Juliet, they meet in the dance floor, right? Here the Lord Capulet, he organized the supper or a feast party, okay, and there Romeo goes to search or to meet his lover called Rosalind, and when he went there, he finds Juliet on the dance floor and he falls in love with Juliet. He was mesmerized, or he was attracted towards the beauty of Juliet, and he falls in love with Juliet and he forgets Rosalind, and he feels that that is whatever he felt for Juliet is the true love in his life. So when he sees Juliet on the dance floor, he was attracted towards her and he was very happy, and he appreciates the beauty of Juliet. So that the part of that explanation is given here, and it is said that Romeo, he compares Juliet to the torches, and he tells that she is burning brighter than the torches, and she is also teaching the torches how to burn bright. Then also he compares Juliet to the cheek of a knight, and he compares a rich jewel which is hanging in the Ethiop's ear. Then he is also saying that the beauty is too rich for use. It is too expensive, too dear in the sense too expensive and too rich. It is not easily available to a simple or a common man, and one who wins her love, he must be deserved, or he feels that he himself is deserved her love. Then he compares Juliet to a snowy doe, and he compares others to the crows. Then he feels after the dance, he wants to meet Juliet and he wants to touch her hand, and by touching her hand, he wants to make his hand a blessed one, his rude hand a blessed one. Why? Because he feels or he finds a goddess beauty in Juliet. Then he calls or he introspects himself that whether he loved till now anyone, and he feels that whatever love he felt to Juliet, that is the true love he feels. And here, dear students, you can observe one thing, that is the knight and the black and white. Okay, the black and white images are compared. There is a contrast. So here the torches, she does teach the torches to burn bright. Okay, she is burning, or she is her beauty is brighter than the torches. So there is dark and white, okay, dark and light imageries are used. Okay, here she is light in the sense she is burning like a torch, okay, and here to burn, to look that brightness, there should be darkness, right? If there is darkness, then only you can see that brightness. So here the two contrast images are compared, or the opposite images are compared, and here Juliet's beauty is treated as the superior one. Then she hangs upon the cheek of night, okay, she is hanging on the cheek of night in the sense she is compared. In that night she was looking beautiful. How? You can see the star, it is shining, it looks bright when there is darkness, right? Otherwise the stars, they don't shine. So here Juliet is looking beautiful there. Those who gathered there, among them she is the most beautiful lady. Then here also she is compared to the jewel in an Ethiop's ear. Okay, Ethiops in the sense they are the Africans. They are dark, and when they wear that gold or jewels, it may be the stone made by stones or made by rubies or made by gold, that glitters. Okay, that glitters. There is also contrast. Than that face, that jewels look more bright and more attractive, right? The same way here she is compared to a snowy dove. If there are black crows and only one dove, then the dove will be attracted. So here the images which are used, light and dark, night, day and night, black and white images are used. So against dark there is a white. So you can contrast or you can analyze the poem or this part of this play like that also. What is given here for your reference, you can analyze in that way too. So there are black and white images are used to compare or to glorify or to appreciate or to intensify the beauty of Juliet. Okay, and by looking Juliet, Romeo, he falls in love with her and he feels that it is a prodigious love, and he feels that it is the true love. Both they fall in love with each other. Then next the Juliet's conversation is given here. There also this night and day images are used, or black and white images are used. So here, come night, come Romeo, come thou day in night. So Romeo is treated as a day in night, in the sense there he is compared to the brightness, okay, and he looks more bright when there is a darkness or when there is a black. Also it is said that he will come upon the wings of night, so that he will only he will be seen, not anything else. Then he is also treated as whiter than the new snow on raven's back. Raven is a black crow, and if there is a snow on that black crow, then what it looks as if a snow is flying and coming. So she calls that night as a raven and Romeo as the whiter snow. Like that here it is said. And finally Juliet, he likes to immortalize Romeo. How? By cutting into stars, okay, by cutting into little stars and sending him to the heaven or to the sky. So what happens? The face of heaven. What's the face of heaven? It's the sky, okay. So that will look more beautiful and it will be attracted. So like this Juliet likes to immortalize Romeo. This is about Romeo and Juliet, okay. So Romeo, he glorifies the beauty of Juliet, and here Juliet, she immortalizes Romeo. So this is about Romeo and Juliet. Next, let us see the lesson, that is Too Dear. Too Dear is the lesson written by Leo Tolstoy, and here it is about the unfit king, one who is failed to take the decision or to it's a moral story, and it's a parody of a modern system of governance, and also it ridicules the way of bringing criminals to book and dispensing justice in modern states. It's a failure of the modern government that to treat or to punish the criminal. So in this story the story is of the small kingdom called Monaco, and if the question is asked to write a note on Monaco, what you have to do is you have to write where the place is located. So for example, Monaco, it is located near the borders of France and Italy on the Mediterranean Sea. It is a small kingdom, and the inhabitants are only 7,000, and the territory is not so big. It has all the post ministries, then courtiers, then bishop, general, everything, and it has only it has army, but how many? 60 men or 60 men in all in the army. And then you have to explain that how tax is collected in Monaco. For example, in Monaco, the tax on tobacco, on wine and spirit, and the poll tax was collected, and that income was not enough for them. So here they had found a new source of income, and what was that? That was a gaming house, and that gaming house is only situated or only left in Monaco. Why? Because all other German sovereigns, they have prohibited. Why? Because people, they used to spend their money which is belong to them and also which is not belong to them, and finally in despair, after losing all the money, they used to kill themselves. That's why such kind of troubling gaming house was not allowed by the people of or the inhabitants of German sovereigns, and they all prohibited that, and now only the gaming house that is left in German, that is in Monaco. Okay, so here the game roulette was played there, and the king of Monaco, he used to get the share or income from the game housekeepers, gaming housekeepers. Okay, in the sense here those who had kept this gaming house, they used to pay their rent or whatever part they had to pay for the government, they had to pay that. So from that the king was getting his income, and because of that king of Monaco, he was called as a kinglet. Okay, he was called as a kinglet, and here, since it's a small kingdom, it was not called, he could not be called as a king, that's why he was called as a kinglet. Okay, and he knew that it is not good, but still he did not have other ways, so it was inevitable to him for the expenses of his kingdom. And once what happens, there a murder was committed by a criminal, and that criminal was caught, and he was brought into the court. Everything that considered, or there was argument, and finally he was proved as the criminal, and he was given the death sentence. To give the death sentence, the king passed the order, and to give him or to cut his head off or to slaughter him, what happened, there was no guillotine in the sense the machine which is used to cut the criminal's head, and also executioner. There was no executioner, one who cuts the head of the criminal. So the king of Monaco, the kinglet of Monaco and the ministers, they decided to ask to borrow from France. And when they wrote a letter to France or to French, they demanded 16,000 francs, and it was a more amount, and the kinglet, he felt that the wretch or that a criminal was not worth for spending that much money. So what happened? He decided that not to get from France. So they decided to send a letter to the Italian government, and Italy was the brother monarch of kingdom of Monaco, the king of Monaco. So they decided to send a letter to him, and there was a hope that they may demand less, but they demanded 12,000 francs, and it was also a large amount to them, and the king felt that the criminal was not worth for spending that much money. So they asked the military or the general, soldiers, they asked the soldiers whether they could cut the man's head, but they denied. They said that we are only trained to fight or to kill the enemies, but not the criminals. Even they denied. So what to do? The king and the ministers, they called again, the king called the ministers, and the discussion took place, and they decided to change the punishment, to change the death sentence into what? Life imprisonment, because there was no money or no proper instruments and people to punish the man, the criminal. The change, and the king also felt that the criminal was not worth to spend that much money for his punishment or to kill him. So the king changed that death sentence into life imprisonment, and it is the death sentence was changed into life imprisonment. And to keep the criminal in the jail, there was no proper jail, there was no guard, nothing. So temporarily one jail was prepared, and a guard was appointed, and from the palace kitchen food was provided. After 1 year, when the king, he saw his expenses and income, he found a new source or a new item of expenditure, and that was 600 francs, and that was for the keep of guard, to guard the criminal and to provide food for the criminal. And he felt it very bad, and that criminal was still young, healthy and well fit. So at least he could live for 50 years. So 50 years, 6,000 francs, in the sense it was a large amount, and he felt that again he was not worth for spending that much money. So he called the ministers, and again the meeting was considered, and they decided what to do. And finally they decided, one of the ministers said that to let him go wherever he want, so that they must dismiss the guard, or they must remove the guard. And it was done like that only, but the criminal did not go from the palace, from the jail. When the guard was dismissed and when the food was not provided, he himself went to the palace kitchen. From there he bought food, and he was settled in jail itself, or in the prison itself. Now what to do? The ministers, the kinglet, everyone was worried how to send that criminal from the kingdom. However, they did not want to keep that criminal in the kingdom, but they wanted to get rid of him, and also they don't want to spend much money. They did not want to spend much money on that criminal. And finally the criminal was called and asked why he was not going out from the prison. At that time he had explained that he was taken to the jail, he was treated as a criminal, he was given the punishment of death sentence, then it was imprisonment. Now his character is ruined and now he is out of work, and if he go out, people will turn their backs on him, and all these problems he had expressed. So finally, to get rid of that criminal, they agreed. Kinglet and the ministers, they offered him the pension, 600 francs pension they offered him. So he was asked to get lost from the kingdom, and that the criminal, he agreed for that, and he took his part of his pension, pension, and he went out of the kingdom and settled nearby, just a quarter and half hour by rail. Okay, then he settled there. There he purchased one land, and there he used to do his market gardening, and every time, in the sense once twice in a year, he used to come to collect his annual income, and he, after collecting that, directly he was going to the gaming house. There he was trying his luck and spending some money on that gaming house. Then he was coming back and settled. He was settled in his house. Like this, his life was settled. Okay. So this is the story of that criminal and the failed king. Okay, failed king. He was failed in executing that punishment on the criminal. So this is about the lesson 2 here. Next, let us see the third poem, that is on children, in the next session.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.